Anyway, welcome back to OMOS Reacts. We're gonna hit you with some corpse videos today. We know these are a little old, couple 3 years old, but we know corpse is popping right now. Deshaun want to put him in the title, so we gotta.
Corpse, you want to
we gotta
clickbait your name?
We're in the clickbait. It's clickbait, but it's cool though. We're gonna do the 3 true horror stories, but we're only gonna watch one of them for now. See if they're good. We never heard them before. I know Deshaun hasn't. I haven't either. So let's see how it is.
Let's check this out.
First, a little background information. I worked the night shift at a local gas station when I was 19. I was the only employee in the store, as usual. On Christmas Eve, I had to work the overnight, 10 p.m. into 6 a.m. into Christmas Day. It was a normal night, no customers, and my cleaning was almost finished.
See a juggernaut?
I just got done eating and decided to go out for a
clean
smoke when I hear someone walking towards the store in the distance. Now, this was nothing out of the ordinary until the person gets to the pumps and I can actually see them. It was a male, about 5'9" and somewhat thin. He was wearing a dark hoodie, jeans, and was carrying a gift bag. As he got closer though, I noticed that he was bleeding from his forehead. As he approached me, I asked if he was okay and if he needed any help. I noticed that the bag was empty, which should have been my first red flag. The guy looked me in the eyes, looking dead inside, and said, "You want to help? Then don't call the fucking cops."
Nope.
I agreed and told him that there was a first aid kit inside and that I'd be happy to help him with his wound.
I agreed.
Crazy, I know, but I was just trying to be nice to him since he was someone who could be a threat to me. We went inside the store and I got the first aid kit. As I pulled out the stuff for him to clean himself up with, he said he needed to use the restroom and once again told me not to call the cops. I told myself that if he wasn't out of the bathroom within a reasonable amount of time, I was going to call the police. He didn't come
do
out,
what he
so
said
I
not
went
to do.
outside and called. The dispatcher told me to stay out of the store and find somewhere safe to be until the officers arrived. I stood at the side of the store where he wouldn't be able to see me, but I could see if he came out of the bathroom. He never came out. The police arrived and asked where he was. I pointed and they went in. Just as they got to the door, he opened it and tried to lunge at one of the officers. They tackled him, threw a knife that he was holding, and promptly arrested him. As they were walking him out of the store, he told me that I was lucky that the police got there when they did, and that he'd see me again soon.
What?
I was a little shook by that. One of the officers came to take my statement after the other took the guy away. I told the officer what had all happened, and then I asked something I really wish I didn't know the answer to. What was he doing in the bathroom? The officer told me that it was a good thing that I called when I did, because the guy had shot up some heroin in the bathroom, then was going to come out with a knife, stab me, and run with what money was in the register. That's what the bag was for.
I was moving crazy.
This guy had a lot of problems and a lot of anger inside of him. The reason he was so angry was also the reason his head was bleeding. He owed his dealer money and got beat because of it. His solution to the problem was robbing the store. The officer told me if I didn't call when I did, I'd either be critically wounded or dead because he wasn't going to allow me to stand between him and that money. I hope I never see that crazy drug addict who wanted to kill me to free himself of debt again.
How did he know all that?
What do you mean? How did the officer
How
know?
did he get all that extra information? Like,
They must be the best detectives ever.
like knowing you gotta owe somebody money and all that. Seems a bit fabricated. Not gonna lie.
Like he owed this guy money.
One time I went to the bar with one of my friends. I had just turned 21, so I haven't been to many bars up to that point. My friend was drinking on the way to
Cap. They are not 21. They look dirty. My bad.
46.
the bar, so he was already pretty drunk when we got there. When I sat at the bar, a cute girl came and talked to me and my friend. She said her name was Candace, and I noticed she had really, really bright red hair. I assumed she dyed it. I mean, it was pretty, but unnatural. Anyways, the girl was flirting with me and my friend. She could tell my friend was already very drunk. To be honest, I played along like I was drunk already too, since it seemed to be working for my friend. I didn't know if she was just trying to get free drinks, so I told her we didn't have much money. She then offered to buy us drinks. She kept buying us drinks, and I started to get confused as to who she liked between me and my friend. My friend went to the bathroom. Before
Boy,
he
he's
came back,
fucked
he was
up.
kicked out by the bouncers.
Oh,
He was way too drunk.
you gonna choose that girl
Candace
over
and
his
I
nigga?
went outside with him. She kept telling him to go home with her. He was so
Oh,
out of
she
it, he
giving it
could
up.
barely answer her. I told her
Busting
he
that
was
thing
too
open?
drunk and that I couldn't let him go anywhere. I didn't want him to wake up hungover in some random house with no car and no idea what happened. Candace kept pushing it, saying that she would take good care of him, but I told her no because I had to stay with him. I was more sober than him, and he was my responsibility. I told her the only way he was going anywhere was if I tagged along. I
my
assumed
man
she
trying
thought
to
I
get
was
a thriesome.
jealous or cock blocking, but my friend could barely stand
Trying to
and
run a
lost
train.
interest in Candace already at that point. She immediately started flirting with me and offered to get my friend a taxi to drive home, and said we could go to her place alone. At this point, I had a few drinks and I was already buzzed, so I agreed. We took my friend to the taxi and walked to her car.
Oh, he a bitch. How he
I
took
slightly
he took his
stumbled
whole
on the way
girl.
to her car,
Wow, you're pretty drunk, huh?
she said, smiling as she held onto my arm. Yeah,
Death grip in
I
his
said.
arm, nigga.
I don't know why, but I just felt slightly shy and anxious. Everything was just happening too easy for me, so I felt uneasy. We got in her car and we drove down the street.
Want to stop at the liquor store and get somewhere to drink? I'll buy it, so don't worry about paying.
She offered. I didn't want to drink any more than I already did. I mean, I was
Trying
already
to take your
buzzed and wanted
organs,
to be able
bro.
to carry myself
Yeah,
throughout the
yeah.
rest of the night.
Yeah, be careful.
Sometimes I
bro.
made myself look stupid when I'm drunk, so I didn't want to ruin anything with Candace more than I already did earlier with telling her my friend was too drunk. I told her I was already drunk enough, but she insisted. I didn't want to seem lame, so I told her to get me a pint of liquor with some apple juice to chase it.
I ain't no
Lame
bitch.
She
ass-
went into the
lame
store and
ass.
came out with a lot more than just a pint. I assumed she wanted to drink more also, and that's why she got a fifth instead of a pint. On the car ride, we passed the bottle back and forth, but she took
What?
tiny
She's
sips.
driving.
I tried to take tiny sips, but she kept passing me the bottle and telling me to drink. I somehow managed to drink all of my apple juice, and I pretend to drink the bottle by spitting the liquor into the apple juice bottle. I tossed the apple juice bottle full of liquor out the window before she even saw it. I didn't want her to know that I was acting drunker than I was. I mean, she actually believed I was sloppy drunk when I was simply buzzed. I took a couple more sips of
Okay,
liquor and then
niggas
finished the
finessing.
bottle. Throughout the
Finessing that
car
shit.
ride, I called her the wrong name a couple of times to get a reaction out of her. She didn't react to it. She just kept letting me call her Carla without correcting me. For some reason, I thought maybe she lied to me about her name initially. We drove up to her house, and I pretended to trip and stumble into her front door. She helped me walk inside by holding me up.
That
She
grip is
opened her
crazy.
front door, which was
brutal.
unlocked, and we walked into her house. She closed her front door and then she locked it. I thought that
What?
was strange, but assumed she didn't want anyone walking in on us.
How you lock it with a key?
I told her
from
that I had to
inside?
use the bathroom. I walked into her bathroom, locked the door, and looked in the mirror. I just felt strange. I felt like something was off. I felt myself becoming more drunk from finishing the bottle earlier. I turned on the sink to make noise and made myself puke up the liquor I drank. I flushed, went to the sink, and started drinking the tap water out of my hands to sober up. I just didn't want to be drunk, but I still wanted to hook up with Candace, so I pretended to be drunk. I turned off the sink and I could hear her talking to someone.
He's
What?
drunk as hell. He can barely stand up. You do it.
Do
Who
what?
was she
What?
talking to and do what?
It's a setup. Way.
I walked out of the bathroom and into the living room. The moment I stepped into the living room, I saw her walking into another room. All I could see was the back of her head, that strange, very bright red hair go into another room. I didn't see her face or anything. I just saw her kind of walk fast into the room. The living room was pretty dark. Hey, where you going? I slurred like I was drunk. She walked back into the dark living room and up to me.
Let's go in my room.
She said.
Oh, sir.
I looked at
Set
her
up.
bright red
It's a
hair
dub.
and then into her eyes. They were different. Her whole face was different.
What?
It was another girl with the same hair.
What?
And that's when I realized it was another girl with the same wig on. It was a wig the whole time. She changed it with the girl from earlier for whatever reason. My heart felt like it stopped, but I tried to look like I had no idea it was a different girl. I kind of smiled at her and told her I needed to use the bathroom one more time and told her sorry I was so drunk. She said,
It's fine. Just hurry up in there.
I went into the bathroom and locked the door. I heard her whisper something to someone again. This time I think I heard a male voice whisper back. I honestly didn't concentrate on listening to exactly what she said, but something sketchy was going on, and I had to get out of that house. I opened the bathroom window and jumped straight out of it and ran faster than I ever have in my entire life. I didn't look behind myself or anything. I just ran straight through the backyard, jumped the fence, ran through someone else's backyard, hit a road, and ran towards the main road. I kept running down the main road until I saw a Star CVS. I ran into the CVS and stood straight at the front of the store in front of the camera. I called a taxi and went home. I try to think of what happened that night. What was she or they planning that night? Why did she tell me a fake name? Why was she trying to get my friend and I so drunk? I thought maybe a robbery, but she kept spending money on us. She kept buying us drinks and even paid for my friend's taxi cab. And mostly, why did she wear a wig that she gave to another girl to wear? Who was she talking to? What did it mean? And what was in that room they tried to lure me into? The next day after this incident, I went back to the house with a couple of friends to see just what was going on. Nobody was there. No cars, no people, nothing. Just an empty house. I ended up finding out that the house was a summer rental, and whoever those people were, they broke into that house and used it for only that night and never came back.
What?
Anyways, that's my story.
Yo, nah, that's scary, bro. That's scary, bro. Hell no.
It was about 3 a.m. and
You telling me they was finna peg that nigga something around the hell?
They was gonna do something crazy to him,
They
bro.
was gonna make him do something strange.
Nah,
bro.
either way, like
Change, bro.
something was gonna happen, like, cause obviously they didn't want to rob him, cause like they kept spinning bread. So what I'm thinking was they was gonna either like cut him up or like kill him, or like just something ridiculous. Like
I was on my way to my
Bro,
job
what
at my
the
local
fuck? That
McDonald's
was-
to open with one of my favorite managers there with me. She told me to text her when I got there so that she could let me inside. Once I pulled in, I noticed a man standing outside of his car in the farthest corner of the
Look how he's
parking lot.
standing.
He was shooting me this sort
Back all
of
broke.
menacing stare. Let me point out that it's completely pouring outside. I was really confused as to why this guy wasn't just sitting in his car. I then parked and texted my manager to let me inside. Seconds later, I noticed her at the door opening it for me. Upon walking up to her, I say my usual good morning. I was stopped mid-sentence by her rushing me inside and saying, "Did you see that guy outside?" I told her yes, and she proceeded to help me refill sauces, napkins, and things like that.
What's she doing?
My manager then told me that she's going to check the security tapes just to make sure that everything during the period that the restaurant was closed was okay. Minutes later, my manager called me into her office for whatever reason. She told me to look at the screen, and it showed that the same man was standing outside. The time was 12:47. She then fast-forwarded the tape to reveal that the man had been standing outside the entire time up until now. And at this point, it's about 3:50 a.m. I ran to the front lobby and I noticed him still standing over by his car. I figured, or was hoping, that he was probably just on something and he was waiting for us to open so that maybe he could get breakfast. I resumed filling sauces again and making sure everything was in working order, until I was abruptly interrupted by banging at the front door.
Oh no, sir.
I walked over and noticed a figure right
Got a
outside the
gimpy
front
leg.
door.
what's
It
wrong
was
with his
the
leg?
man. I yelled that we were closed and that he would have to come
Ew.
back later. That didn't seem to faze him as he continued to bang on the door. I walked away, figuring that he was just being an asshole, when suddenly I heard a loud crash. I ran to the lobby to see the glass door broken and the
Motherfucking
man beginning
zombie.
to step inside. I yelled for my manager and told her that we needed to leave through the back door. And we did just
you yelled
that.
it out loud.
We booked
He
into
can
our
hear
cars
you.
and both called the cops. They arrived in about
Ew.
15 minutes
What
and
the
came
fuck?
outside the restaurant with a dirty-looking
The
man
Joker?
in cuffs. They said he was hiding in the back janitor's closet with a large knife in his hand. So that's my story, and also the reason I'm never working early mornings again.
Yeah, you can work late nights and that can happen too.
Yeah, that shit can happen anytime besides the afternoon, boy. Like, what the fuck?
So what you think of the 3 stories, bro?
Honestly, I like it. Like those are
Those are pretty
like
fire. I
corpse.
can't lie.
I mean, that's what started off, the whole corpse thing and all
Yeah.
that. But like, those are some good stories. That second one was sus.
Yo, yeah, bro.
Nah, cause like us, like we go out, we party. That's some shit that could happen. You know
that
what I
third one
mean?
I'm
Like
iffy on, but the other one, like, it was okay. It just was
it was
quick.
the
Like,
first one was alright. The second one, that was the one that had me fucked up. But
bro,
I give that a 9 out of 10. That was good.
it's a W though. Corpse is a W.
That's a
sure.
big W.
That's
That's a
crazy.
big dub. But anyways, that was another reaction video from OMOS Tracks from your boy Deshaun, your boy Chris. We definitely gonna be doing more of these. We pump these out. So make sure be on the lookout for more videos from OMOS. We got more guys. We got Josh. We got Dom, and we got JB. That's gonna be a fun one. And of course you got us. So I mean the boys gonna be out here. So make sure you drop that like. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Ring that little bell down there, so you can get all the notifications.
Yes,
Follow us on
sir.
all our social medias. I'm pretty sure all our social medias are gonna be down below. We stream every single day.
Which
I'm
will
pretty
be
sure
in
we're
the
not going.
description.
Pretty
All
sure we're
that
gonna
will be in the
stream.
description.
We're gonna stream every day besides Sunday. I think that's gonna be our content day. But
Yes, sir.
besides that, we streaming every single day. So that's gonna be in the description as well. And this is OMOS Reaction. We'll see y'all in the next one.
Deuces.